Good morning, friends. My name is Sanjeev Kumar. I'm Senior Corporate Trainer in Koenig Solutions, and for several years, I'm delivering trainings on security products that are mentioned here. So today, I'm going to discuss about a new feature in Checkpoint RAT, which is known as policy layers. To understand policy layer better, let's try to understand that uh, we are all aware that in a rule base, you are going to write several rules one after other and in a orderly way, right? So packet when comes to the rule tries to match with rules, and if a match is found, then the packet moves with the help of that rule. Okay, so this is the normal functioning of a firewall. Now, with the introduction of policy layer, Checkpoint has given its product a capability where you can add multiple kind of rule in a policy base, and each kind of rule is considered as a layer. Like this rule in my example is considered as firewall rule, right? This is a firewall rule. But suppose along with this rule, I'm going to create another set of rules like your application control rule. So suppose if I want to create a application control policy, so this time I will call it a layer 2. So firewall rule is your layer 1, while application control policy is called a layer 2. And here one thing we need to understand, that when a packet is eligible to pass through layer 1 policy, then only that packet is liable or considered acceptable to the layer 2 policy. Okay, so let's try to uh, understand it with the help of an example. Suppose the rule, this rule number say 10. Okay, so this rule number 10 is a internet access rule, internet accessing rule. Okay, so the people can go and access internet with the help of rule number 10. Now because the people can go through with this rule and can access internet, then only it means the packet is able to pass through firewall rule, and hence it is able to cross through the firewall rule. It is eligible to go to the application control rule, right? So uh, packet comes, it, okay, I'll try to understand it. Suppose the packet comes and it tries to match with several rule, and with internet access rule it is able to pass, and then only it is able to go to the application control rule. And now the packet, whether will be allowed or not, now entirely depends upon the policies in the application control policy. If this packet is passing from here, then only it will be able to reach to the internet. Okay, so this way the checkpoint has implemented a layered structure in its policy. Earlier we were required different pane to manage different policies. But now with one single pane, you can manage different kind of policies. Okay, so the same example that I told you, I'm going to show you how you can configure in your checkpoint environment. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, in this situation, you can see that alpha policy package has so many rules. Okay, and this is a firewall rule. Now I want to create application control policies, and I want to use it as a second layer to this firewall policy. So what I can do, I can simply go to the policy. As you can see, the edit policy option is there. As I right click there, I click edit policy, and this page comes where I need to put the name of the policy. Okay, so alpha policy is the name, and you can see access control is already selected. Means in this alpha policy package, access controls rules are there, like firewall rule. Now I am going to create a application control rules. So for that, I need to enable the threat prevention, or you can see here. Okay, you can see within the access control, a plus sign is there. You just click that plus sign, and you'll see an option called new layer. Click on that new layer. We'll see this option. Now app control is the name that I gave to this new layer of policy, and what kind of functionality or what kind of rule I want in this layer 2, I can mention the check mark for mentioning what kind of rule I want. So I selected application and URL filtering. Now because this is also a rule set, so there should be a default action of a policy. So generally it is a deny. By default, a deny action should be selected. Okay, so you can see now that there are two policies, network policy and app control policy. So these are two layers. These two layers belongs to access control policies, and access control policy is a part of alpha policy. Okay, and also similarly, if you want to create other policies in threat prevention area, you can check mark on threat prevention, and you can select what kind of policy you want to add here. As you can see, IPS and network protection is there. Okay, now as we go, as we proceed, you can see now that in your alpha policy you have access control and threat prevention, both kind of rules. Network related rules means firewall rules I have already shown to you. Now I'm going to create this app control policies and rules within this policy. Now you can see the cleanup rule under app control policy, and here by default drop is there. Okay, so now you can edit it, and I accepted it. It means if a packet from the network policy or firewall policy, if it is allowed, then it should come here, and uh, it should be controlled from this layer 2 app control policy. Okay, now you can see the action is accepted. So when I initiated Skype, I can see the result. This result, this packet is allowed now through two policies or two rules. Internet access policy from firewall internet access rule from firewall policy, and because then only it can go to the layer 2, which is your app control. There also everything is allowed, so uh, the Skype is accessible. Okay. Also, if I'm going to select the drop in action, now the packet will be allowed from your firewall policy, but it is going to be dropped from your application control policy, right? So you can just see here. Now my default action is accepted here. Okay, so I think now you have seen how you can control the communication using layered approach of RAT firewall, and how these layers in policy are related to each other. Thank you guys. So let's see you in the next video. Thank you. I hope you understood the concept of policy layer.